I realized that it's really important to focus on end users and educate them how not to lose their fun. Yeah, that's it. And second point, it's important as well. It's a protocol hacks, and here you can say that time is playing against the developers.
How do you see the future of blockchain and how the market is going to transform
I
itself?
think I can say in a simple word that you don't need to develop some new infrastructure to join some new devices. You can just use the current blockchain infrastructure every time and join new devices, new eras of devices. I definitely can say that team is the most important part of every company, of every uh, venture.
Hello everyone, my name is Ali. I'm the CEO of Al-Burraq Technologies, and as promised, today we have another tech star with us, Dmitry Mishunin. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Ali, thank you. I'm fine. What about you?
Thank you so much for asking, and it's a pleasure to host you as well. Please let us know about yourself a little bit so that our audience can connect with you.
My name is Dmitry Mishunin. I'm CEO and the founder of HashEx Blockchain Security company. So we are doing security audits across the decentralized markets and centralized markets, but our main goal is decentralized one. I started when I was second year student of physics and math department, and I've started as a system
Mhm.
administrator. I think this profession right now is a little bit dying, if I can say so. And we have some modern ways of it, like development and operations in huge companies. But that way, that was a person who installed the systems, repaired the computers, etc. So it was not a rocket science, but it was really necessary to do. And from that point till next 7 or maybe 10 years, I came from like a nearest position to a position of CTOs and CIOs and our modern e-commerce projects here in Russia. And once like 7 years ago, I already had some pet project like a development outsourcing, and I decided to quit my main job where I was hired. This decision was not about the business itself. I can say that was more about the climate in the company. It was a little bit toxic and was a little bit difficult for me to keep myself there. And that way, hopefully, or maybe luckily, there was 2017 ICO boom, and we have a brainstorm with my small team of outsourcing development guys, and we decided to change our focus from development itself to smart contract development. That was the starting point of a new journey.
Right, right. So that is how you came into the HashEx,
Yes,
right?
definitely. So the first year we were just
Right.
developers. Then we gained some knowledge and expertise. We started to correct others' code, like to do an audit. And then we changed our focus again from the development to the auditing. And here we are now.
So let's talk about blockchain a little bit more because initially when the idea came, uh, people were so much excited about blockchain, but in the last few years we are seeing that the interest, or you can say the attention toward blockchain, is going down. It's declining, right? So what do you think are the main reasons of those?
I think it's like any other hype or trend or huge technology when everybody trying to gain everything from it. And I'm not speaking about fair persons who are trying to integrate the new technology into old markets. No, I'm speaking about people who just want to earn some cash and they're trying to use everything they see around them to earn that cash. So the same situation was the AI this spring, for example, when every guy was trying to sell AIs on the every conference, like I'm an expert, and the same was 5 or 4 years ago with the blockchain. So I think the same, really the same. I'm maybe too young to remember the .com boom in United States in early of this century, but I think that was the same. So everybody tries to sell internet companies.
So basically, it was a hype, and people just wanted to get maximum out of it, and in that direction, they were investing a lot more
I
than
think
needed,
so.
right?
And maybe there
Yeah.
is
So
a
yeah,
problem of a blinded investigator, because I was under this in this industry and I saw many people who was trying to come to it. And if you compare this industry, for
yeah,
example, to oil industry, gas industry, or development like a building one, construction one, I guess the blockchain is much times smaller. So when you're inside, you feel that everyone is speaking about blockchain, but when you're outside, it
yeah,
doesn't. So this year, I had a really interesting dialogue with a venture investor and huge business angel, and I was sharing my problems in my company, asking what's better to do, so some advice. And the first he said, that was a little bit weird for me, but that was definitely true. He said there is no blockchain market, so it's too small to have a name to have a calling like a market. It's like one big startup around the Bitcoin, around the Ethereum, and lots of users around it. So it's not a market yet, but it can become a market later.
yeah, right, right. That was an interesting comment, I must say. That uh, and I can agree as well from that a little bit. By the way, I do have one question. If we look at the blockchain and the structure of it, do you think that Torrent was the first real time example of blockchain we
You
had
mean
in
the
the past?
protocol, BitTorrent?
And still, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
BitTorrent or any other torrent, because the
yeah,
concept was
that
same,
that was
right?
sure a peer-to-peer network, so it's not a blockchain because it was not the main. It was decentralized like a peer-to-peer, but it does not have the anchor of stability how blockchain has. But it's peer-to-peer network for sure.
Yeah. And I think that that was the beginning of all the concepts of decentralized apps, and then it shifted toward the
Definitely,
blockchain as
definitely.
well.
Before the Torrent protocol, there was D2C protocol, and that was like a parent of Torrent one, so the same working. People around local networks were sharing their files, music, videos, etc.
So let's talk about HashEx a little bit more. And how many contracts do you analyze in a year or in a day, and till now, and how much data you analyze
Okay, that's really interesting.
for the
Yeah,
security
yeah.
purpose?
I'm proud of our main statistics.
Yeah.
It's a funds which were kept or saved by us, and this amount is more than $2 billion right now. I can say more than two with a half, and this is a really big part, because there are lots of auditors. I can say that we are number one and number two, and by the statistics based on November of previous year, there were more than 200 auditing companies. This is really a small amount for real businesses, but it's huge amount for blockchain ones, because companies are burning and dying every week or every month. So it's really hard to keep afloat on this market right now. So for us, we can say that in 2023 we kept 3% of the market, and I think that's really good for that market.
That's huge. That's huge.
That's it.
That's
We
huge.
can't compare ourselves to top one companies which were funded by huge venture funds like an American ones. But we are still alive, and we are growing, so it's really good for us. And we would like to have more share of this market this year, like to come to 10%. I think we can do it.
Right, right, right. That's a good approach, and I think that's a huge percentage you're talking about.
Thank you. We have to keep
Okay,
in
let's.
mind that
Yeah.
there are no market yet, so that's important. Because we have to get mobile device market. That was really huge. But For us, it's lots of grow
Right,
with
right.
Y, so we will grow with the market, and that's good for us.
Yeah, we are talking about the market, so let's move toward the one more thing which is very important: the scams in blockchain. Recently, TechCrunch reported $2 billion theft by the hackers. Right. So, what do you think are the reasons of these scams? Why do we have so many news of hackers stealing money in the blockchain?
This is an interesting question, and uh, depending on the situation, we can, I think, looking for different initial points. But from my point of view, there are two main problems. First of all, it's a personal problem, a user one. So people are doing stupid things. And if we compare the amount of stolen funds in hacks and in stupid things by users, 95% are stolen by some mistakes. Like you are interacting with fraud websites, you're opening some emails, sharing your private keys, etc. And that was crucial point for us and for our strategy, next year strategy, because we were focusing on the last 5% on protocols and on developers. And I realized that it's really important to focus on end users and educate them how not to lose their funds. Yeah, that's it. And second point, it's important as well. It's a protocol hacks, and here I can say that time is playing against the developers, and that's a problem. So I just have a conversation with my friend during the lunch time, and she was thinking about getting driver license, and we have a small discussion and just that if I had 10 of years of experience of driving, that was really nice to drive in winter. I have a good experience, blah, blah, blah. So she doesn't have any experience right now. And I told her that problem of car accidents is not your experience. It's a time. So the more time you are driving, the better chance to get some problems. Not because of your experience and your level of driving, but because of the situation itself. So the more time you are on the road, the bigger chance to get something like injury or car accident or something like this. So the same situation in the blockchain field itself. So let's take some huge DeFi protocol. And maybe 3 years ago, when they started, they were audited by 10 companies. Excellent audits, or maybe some issues, but the issues were fixed, everything was fine. But 3 years, hackers, they were not sleeping, they were working, and they saw billions of funds in those protocols. They were trying to trying to hack it to warn for
The most
so and in the
hardworking
end of
people.
the day they did it, so they hacked. And if we compare the hacks and problems like 2012, that time there were like stupid hacks, and right now we don't see on the market stupid hacks. Thank god developers start doing really good, really solid code, as we call it. But we are seeing smart hacks. So, for example, a month ago, there was like a main brainest hack in the industry where the team of the project mentioned that the hacker was a genius. And the hacker said that he spent like a month or something like this to create the exploit of this system. So they're genius and they have to spend lots of time to do this.
Yeah. I think they are more genius than the
Definitely,
developers.
definitely, it's really hard to look for these bugs, to look for these holes. Really hard.
Yeah, they are more hardworking and more
I
dedicated.
can't say anything about the education itself, but they have different angle of view, and the same we see comparing our auditors and our developers. We do development as well, and mostly when we do audits after our development or something like this, auditors have a different angle. They are more like scientists than like a builders, something like this.
What was the most stupidest mistake you have ever encountered from the developer's side? which led to a security leak or something like that.
Let me see.
If you can
I
remember
remember
something.
lots of them. But I'm trying to pick
We have a
the
lot of
most
time.
stupid.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's say that a really popular mistake and the stupidest one from the auditor's side is a problem with border conditions. It means yeah, yeah, yeah. So the border condition is when your equation should stop working, something like this. And the stupidest in this mistake is that it's easily covered with a unit testing. So if the developer writes unit tests, it's like one string to check the border condition. And from time to time, they don't do. They're too lazy to write stupid tests. And in the end of the day, you have really good, really huge leakage because it's like an overflow. When the contract should stop working, it still works and you lose your funds. So we are trying to cover this type of mistakes, but the same when you have, for example, 10,000 of unit tests, and usually we don't write tests for clients, so we just check
That makes sense. And how did you respond it on that one?
if we find this issue or if we don't find this issue, which case.
So let's talk about the experience of being Forbes Technology Member. How is that experience, and how can anyone join that league?
I think first of all, guys from this program should find you and invite to the program. But I guess there is a way to attend in this program without invitation. So just to drop them a mail or something like this and ask to join. So they have some pre-moderation, like an interview, and if they found you as an interesting person, then can invite you into this program. So that's it.
Right, right. Okay, so I'll have to email them first that I am so interesting. Please
Yeah, something
add
like this.
me.
Then they charge you like $1 million, and you're there. I'm kidding, no worries.
Oh my God. They should pay me. They should pay me for that. Ideally, they are going to get a lot from me. They should
Yeah,
ideally pay
you're a
me for
really
that.
valuable guy, so I think they should pay you, not you to them.
Okay, so let's move forward and talk about AI in blockchain. So, what is your take on that? How we can maximize the use of AI in blockchain?
My opinion is that blockchain is was developed in its foundation for the AI usage, if I can say so. So, if we speak about purposes of blockchain, I see only two, like financial purposes, transferring of funds, which we're seeing in DeFi, and lots of modern banks are trying to join this party. And the second one is a robotic one, but robotic not like hardware robotics, but IoT and AI. So this is the main reason where blockchain can be suitable, and not only suitable, but really valuable and important. Just because it's a universal platform for communication of different devices, of different software, and it's really good for its future. So I can say in a simple word that you don't need to develop some new infrastructure to join some new devices. You can just use the current blockchain infrastructure every time and join new devices, new eras of devices, etc.
Right, right, right. That was an interesting opinion and a good insight, I must say. So, moving forward, let's talk about how you build your teams. What are the key things you keep in mind while you are building your team?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, for sure. I'm not going to charge you. I was going to say I'm going to charge you for that. Okay. Uh, I was saying that let's move forward and discuss about team building. How do you build your teams? What are the key things you keep in mind while you are interviewing people or you are building your teams?
Good question. And I definitely can say that team is the most important part of every company, of every uh, venture, and that was a crucial way. So for core with core team, I'm in contact for 5 or maybe 7 years, so maybe 10 years with some of them. So we have a really long time relationship already, And I can say there is a trick. There is a trick between hiring itself and inviting friends or inviting people with some connection to a company. So if you have a really charismatic persons inside the team and they have a big number of people around them, so they are mostly good people, if you can say so. And it's really good to try to pick something from this circle. And if I compare the whole hiring process for last 7 years, people who are the most time with us, like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, all of them were friends or friends of friends or something like this. So there were not people from the market. Uh,
Right,
I
right,
can't
right.
say that from the markets
So
are
that
bad. No, 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 not it. We have really smart and really good guys from the markets who came just over HR process to us, but 50% are close to relationship guys.
so I would contest this one, right? Because the thing is, eventually, when you are building a company, of course, your friends and friends of friends are are preferred to join. But eventually, you have to go out, you have to meet new people, you have to hire the strangers in
That's
the
it.
company, right? So, while doing that, what do you keep in mind that what am I looking into the person who is sitting in front of me before you hire him?
Maybe it's not the best opportunity. So I hire only my managers. Yeah, so the people who are working close to me, not the old guys, the developers. And if I see of the future manager, first of all, I'm trying to understand if he's smart enough to work. So better if he's smarter than me, than than the rest. And the second one, if I can connect with him emotionally. So, for example, there can be a really smart guy and with good experience, but we don't have a connection. So I'm not good to keep the conversation, or I have some feelings about it. This is important because when you just choose with your brain, like CV, like experience, like I don't know, maybe some tests or something like this, but you feel something strange about this person in a month, in a 3 months, or in a 6 months, you will have some feelings about communication with him. And I had this experience a couple of times, maybe not a couple dozen of times, when I hired a good guy from the CV position. We worked together, and the more we worked, the less I wanted to work with him. That was the problem. So it's important to
Right,
connect
right.
with people.
So basically, you prefer your emotional connection with them more and the gut feeling you
For
have
sure,
about
gut
them.
feeling about them, but experience and the logic type or the type of how our brain works is important too. So our industry, not the blockchain itself, but like a technology venture industry. So we are doing lots of new technology startups, like with AI based, like blockchain based. Uh, it's a new one, so nobody has experience in this industry, and the important is how fast a guy can learn what to do. I
Right,
think
right, right. So they should be smart, they should emotionally connect with you, and you should have a good gut
they
feeling
should be
about them,
fast
right?
learners. So it's mostly
Yes, if they are smart, if
yeah,
they are
it's
going to
easy to
work
check
fast,
on the
right?
interview. Just to ask a couple of questions about me or about the company, for example.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. That's an important point, and I hope people who are going to give you interviews they see this podcast and they come prepared.
Yeah, and read my biography.
You see, I was manipulating you. Okay, let's talk about the remote work as well. Is your team remote, or are you guys supporting remote work? What are the pros and
My team
cons
is
of remote
mostly
work?
remote, but I personally hate remote work. It's really a low efficiency compared to real time, real persons, in person work. And once we decided with the core team, so we have the experience when we were totally remote, when we work close together. And we decided, when we have a launch of a new project, we come to some point in the world, so we choose this point, come there. For example, last year we launched a new project in Thailand, so everybody came there. We rented some office there and lived for a couple of months together, just to be in person with each other. So it's really good. So we travel a lot, and sometimes during, for example, my stay in Indonesia, I love Indonesia, and it's plus 5 hours to Central European time, like Moscow, Cape Town, and it's a huge difference because when Moscow wakes up, I'm already tired. I want to go sleep or something like this. And or for example, I was living in Los Angeles for half a year, and what was really frustrating to communicate with the company, because you have 2 hours in the morning and you have like 2 hours in the night time when you're already tired, and that's really bad for business. So the core team should be in the one place.
Right, right, right. That makes sense. But I would like to ask, are you sure you were in Thailand for a new product launch or party?
For product launch, not for the party.
Ah, I'm not believing it, even if you are saying that.
No?
Okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. The last thing we are going to move. How do you see the future of blockchain and how the market is going to transform
I
itself?
think that if you speak about finances, I think it should be and would be regulated by governments, by banks, by uh, committees like ECC in different countries or something like this. But again, and later, like in 5 years or 10 years, I think the whole blockchain would be not for human being using, but for robotics using. So AIs will trade with each other there. Some algorithmic system will work together, because it's really good. It's open, and there are huge amounts of data inside, and um, the computer systems can realize, can use this data, can make decisions based on it. And um, people are too slow for this. So I think that traditional trading will die. Maybe not around all the markets like traditional finances, but in blockchain markets, 100%. So it's really difficult to trade better than AI can do it. And right now we have some cases where we see this, and it's really interesting to keep eyes on this. How small AI systems gains its brains, if we can call them so, and start trading better than persons. So my future vision is when my fridge sees or notices then eggs are all out of date, and ask a drone to buy new eggs and to bring it to the fridge, and everything under blockchain, because it's good for communication. So something like this.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Uh, what are the goals for 2024? What is your New Year's resolution for 2024
We
regarding
want to catch
HashEx?
10% of security market in decentralized industry. I think we are ready for this. We have really very good team with good efficiency. Also, we would like to impact on more people. This is interesting insight. I've gained it like maybe 2 weeks before, and our market is really small, and it's really hard to grow when you're in when you're impacting and working with a small number of people. And when you're working with thousands or hundreds of thousands, it's easier. It's easier to become more useful for them. So that's why we will try to work more on educational side of HashEx. We have a HashEx Academy, and I think we'll kick it off more to gain more traction with people impacting. So
Perfect, perfect. With that note, I would like to thank you and I would like to give you my best wishes to reach 10% of the market
whenever.
and even more. Uh,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Really good.
much for joining. And we would be, yeah, yeah, please. You were saying
I was
something.
saying that this was really good Christmas wishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we wish you good luck. And for the audience, keep watching our channel and we'll keep bringing more tech
Thank you,
stars to
bro.
your screen. Thank you so much, Dimitri, for your time.